Hey there, YTPC. Michelle Baruch coming at you on a really lovely Saturday. Hope you guys are doing well wherever you are. It's currently about 80 degrees here. Not too humid, lovely warm breeze. It's pretty much delightful. Behind me here you can see the Women's Club of Wisconsin, which is a beautiful building by my apartment. And I'm going to tilt you just for a second and see if you can see one of my son's favorite sculptures here. This is a bunch of flying birds, and it's titled The Birds of Knowledge of Good and Evil by Magdalena Abakanowicz. But it's a gift of the Women's Club. Anyway, it's one of my favorite sculptures. You don't often see sculptures that are kind of like midair. So I have a couple things I want to do with you. First, I want to talk about an experiment that I'm doing here. I jarred up a little bit of the Westminster that I tried recently, and added some golden and black Cavendish to it, because I thought the Westminster was a really solid English, had all the great elements that I love, but sensorily in the mouthfeel felt very, very thin to me, and I thought that it could benefit from just a tad bit of sweetness too. So what I did was I have a little black and golden Cavendish. It's nothing special. It's a super saver type thing. And I thought that I would add just a couple of pinches of that to the Westminster and see if I liked it any better. Because I think I gave the Westminster like a B+ or an A-, but it was missing that certain something. Now, I've let these marry in the jar for a little while, at least a week, maybe a week and a half. And it's a little better. It's not perfect yet. I'll keep playing with it. I gotta say that I haven't changed the English quality of it at all. It's still got a great Latakia and Oriental flavor to it. I was afraid that maybe the Burley, being a little sweetened, was going to mellow that out, and that's still all there. But it is a lot more pleasing in the mouth. Oop, it's that windy. I'm losing my camera. All right. So all in all, I would say slightly improved. Not a huge success in this experiment, but I've been wanting to do this for a while, and rather than, with a couple blends, and rather than buying some blending Cavendish, like some Cornell and Deal blending tobaccos that they have, I thought I would just try with what I had. I'm sure a bunch of you have done exactly the same thing at different times with stuff that you liked. All right, this is getting closer. Oh, and I should also say this is the Dr. Grabo Riviera. Introducing the pipe there. So, in a non-pipe related note, I kind of wanted to share, it's not exactly an epiphany, but an aha moment that I had recently. So, when I was about to turn 30, or shortly after turning 30, somewhere in there, I had kind of a midlife crisis-y kind of moment where I was a little bit in a panic as to, holy shit, I'm about to turn 30, and my life doesn't look like what I thought my life should look like at 30. Certainly hadn't done any of the things that I had thought I would have done long before 30. And part of that confusion or distress that I was going through was the thought that I never felt like I changed. At 30, I felt exactly as awkward and as inept and unconfident and all those things that I did as like a early teenager, like a 13-year-old, 14-year-old kid in 8th grade or whatever. Just still felt awkward and weird, and it had always been in my mind that at some point when I became an adult, I would feel different. And I was like, I'm 30, I still get zits, and I still am awkward and weird and feel odd and disconnected. And it was an odd sensation to try to come to live with. And now that I'm well beyond 30, I still have that feeling. I've wrestled with that feeling for a long time, that there should have been, damn it, I was sold on the idea that in the year 2000 we would have hover cars, and at some point I would feel like an adult. I mean, I know I can't be alone in this. And I'm not. And I'll tell you why I started to tell that part of the story. So the other day, as you know, I'm a geriatric social worker. I work at a nursing home. And a lot of my day involves just talking to people, talking to residents, talking to their families, helping them talk through some of the adjustment stuff that they're going through. And I think you can probably see where I'm going with this. So I'm talking to a woman who, I won't give you any identifying information, but she's well over 90, okay? Still sharp as a tack. And I'm talking to her, and I don't remember how we even got there, but she made that exact comment to me about how at 90 whatever, she still feels exactly like she remembers feeling as like a 12-year-old girl. She still feels like she missed that transformative event, that thing that marks you as an adult, and she's almost a century old. And I had this really this kind of light bulb aha moment talking to her about that okay, intellectually I know I'm not alone in this, but to have a 90-something-year-old lady kind of parrot back to me the exact, or darn close to it, the exact same conundrum that I've had for a long time, was very validating. That's all. Make of that story what you will. I just kind of wanted to share that with you because I would be willing to bet good money that a whole bunch of you are nodding your head with me right now. But you've probably never put it to words, or maybe, I certainly hadn't to too many people in my life. So I just thought I'd leave you with that thought. And in the meantime, I'll keep trying to make this what I'm envisioning. And I'll let you know how that goes. You guys have a great Saturday afternoon. I am going to walk up my neighborhood a little bit to the Brady Street Fair, which is my favorite street fair of Milwaukee, mostly because it's the first one I ever went to after I moved here. Just to my right at the waterfront is also the Beer Fest, the 10th annual Brewfest. Don't know if I'll make it to both. I'm definitely going to Brady Street. So hopefully if you're in the neighborhood, try and find me. Send me a message. We'll hook up. Be well. Psychozo.